Hello seekers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I will show you how to find your own Arudha and Upapada points in the chart using Vedic or Indian school of astrology. So we already know that astrology is not just one sign, but it's the collection of 16 charts where we have 12,000 signs and also 9 objects called grahas or loosely planet. So for example, in the last video I said that extremely rich people have 11 from Arudha Lagna related to exalted, debilitated or Atmakaraka planet. But how to find Arudha? Where is the Arudha in my chart? So this video will answer that question. How we are living in the society as an adult is one of the most important points in the chart. This allows us to categorize and brings border in things we see in the chart and allows us to see what we do based on the social construct. So for example, we are using transits, the Gochara, transits of planets, using this Arudha point in the chart as a reference. So these transits from Arudha are very accurate. And then we are also using how we are dealing with others in our life, how we behave. If we will have scandal, what is the general reputation we have? And also very important, the sector in which we work. Will we be perceived as a person which is belonging to what we do? For example, I can do art, but will people perceive me as an artist? I can write, but do people perceive me as someone who's like a writer? Or I'm doing astrology, but will people perceive me as a teacher or maybe someone who is related to esoteric field? So that depends if the Jupiter or maybe Rahu and Ketu, the nodes, have something to do with the Arudha Lagna. Then we also have that the chances of the big wealth or any kind of financial problem, but also health related issues are also seen from the Arudha Lagna. Addiction, debts, what society expect from us, there is the point which we can find, and this is also using the Arudha. And also, are we attacking others? This is depending on 3rd and 6th from Arudha Lagna, or are we rather spiritual? How is our approach to aggression? And also, are we belonging to spiritual family, spiritual organization or spiritual ashram? So all of these questions can be answered by using the Arudha Lagna. Similarly, there is another point which is called Upapada. Upapada is calculated in the same way like Arudha, but we are taking 12th house as the reference point. So similarly, if we want to note about marriage, what is the form of social contract, we need to find the Upapada in the chart, and we can take the Lord and see the strength if that marriage has chance to survive. We can also see the 2nd house from Upapada to know what are the challenges which are waiting us in that particular relationship. Of course, you can always download the free Vedic Astrology software like Jagannath Hora and just find abbreviation AL and UL for Arudha Lagna and Upapada, but there are further exceptions to even what the software is showing, so please bear with me if you want to be super sure about where are these points in your chart. And also it's always good to know manually how to count things like this, because often there is a philosophy and meaning behind the calculation of these points. So my hope is that by the end of this video you'll be able to find your Arudha and count the houses from it, and also Upapada, and use some basic level of interpretation to understand what it shows in your chart. So I remember exactly when I was reading the post on Vedic Astrology Yahoo forums, it was like in 2005, this was like 3 forums. One was the Vedic Astrology, it was by Shri Narasimha Rao, then we had the Sohamsa by Sanjay Rath, and we also have the Shri Jagannath Center forum, which was then led by my teacher Visti Larsen. So there was a lot of posts about Arudha and Upapada. You have this Arudha, there is that, Upapada about the marriage. And also what is very interesting, these points, Arudha and Upapada, are very basic points which are in the Shastras, in the Vedic texts like Brihat Parashahara Shastra, and also in the Jaimini Krita Upadesha Sutra. If you are brand new here, my name is Rafał Gendash, and this channel is around discussing the topics around deciphering the reality using the Vedic or Indian astrology in the tradition of the Sri Achyutananda, with the analytical, modern and research-based approach. So let me know in the comments if you succeed to calculate your own Arudha and Upapada. Where are they placed in your chart? What are the yogas involved and how this reflects your reality? And if you learned anything new in this video, please also write in the comments. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. The last time we get 35 likes. Let's see if we can get 50 likes in this video. If you'd like to be notified about similar videos in the future, please hit the subscribe button with the bell notification on. So with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So I'm always excited to learn any new point in the chart which gives me any information about new perspective on my personality. This can help me to navigate through life. so I'm sure you have the same sentiment. So the Arudha Lagna is very important because it has three major benefits to analyze. The first point is that this is Arudha Lagna. Lagna means ascendant, and ascendant means that we can treat it as a point of reference and we can count houses from that. So if we can count the houses from the Arudha, it means we are now getting a full package of perspective how things are going on in our life. Another great point is that Arudha is showing things which are measurable, tangible, in specific physical and not only conceptual form and category. So that is also very useful if you want to have more precise, more solid and more objective prediction. The third definition of Arudha is that it shows the choice we are making based on our social standing. It can show, are we aggressive? Can we cross the border of ahimsa? And with the help of Navamsha, we can double confirm such things. So there are two parts to calculation of Arudha Lagna. One is the regular, one is the exception. The regular is easy, it's just based on the distance from ascendant or Lagna to the Lord. And then we take the same distance from the Lord. Let's say your Lagna Lord is in second house, then we take second from second, it goes to third house, your Arudha Lagna is in third house. If Lagna Lord is in third house, we take 3 houses, so 3 houses from third house is the fifth house, Arudha Lagna will fall in the fifth. So that is super easy. It may demand some practice for attention memory, but it's basically quite simple. Now let's go to the exceptions. Our school says that the first and 7 houses, they are the Satyapita, so they are the places of true. And the Maya, which is the Arudha, Maya is illusion, it cannot stand with the true. So Arudha Lagna naturally cannot fall in the first or 7 houses. By the way, the longitude of Arudha Lagna is the same as the Lagna, so we can count the nakshatra also based on this. And the first and 7 houses, they have both day and night, and they are called Udaya Lagna for the first house and Ashta Lagna for the 7th house. And these houses are called the Satyapita, so they are the places of true. They cannot take you into the illusion. And Arudha is like a moon. It plays with your mind. It gives, for example, you a respect based on the social standing. So this is how you perceive people based on what they have. So it's quite illusionary, we can say, but it's illusion in the perspective that the whole samsara, the whole our body and also the samsara is also the illusion, because we are here on the level of the relative true. So this doesn't mean that this is illusion in the form that's only imagination. It's not true. It is true, but it's the relative true. We can call it as an Upanishad, like temporary reality. So now if we take the exceptions where the Lagna Lord will fall in first house, it will be in the 10th house, because the Arudha would fall in first, but it cannot fall in first because its first and 7th are the Satyapita, the places of truth. So we take 10th from the first, which is the 10th. Another exception is when the Lagna Lord is in the 4th house, then normally it will fall in 7. It cannot fall in 7 because again it's the Satyapita, the places of truth. So we take 10 from it, 10 from 7 is 4th again. If Lagna Lord is in 7, it would go to Lagna, to the ascendant back, but it cannot go to ascendant because it's again Satyapita, the place of truth. So 10th from Lagna is the 10th. So when Lagna Lord is in 7, the Arudha falls to 10th house. And when Lagna Lord is in 10th, the Arudha will fall to 4th house, because normally it would fall in 7, but cannot fall in 7 again. We take 10th from 7, which is the 4th. From other houses, we are just taking the reflection. So if the Lagna was in 2nd, the Arudha will fall in 3rd, because it's 2 houses. If we count 2 from 2nd house, it will fall in 3rd house. If it's in Lagna Lord is in 5th, based on the same principle, Arudha Lagna will fall in 5th. If the Lagna Lord is in the 5th, then we have 5 houses. If we count 5th from the 5th house, it will go to the 9th house. So this is quite easy. For 6 we have 11th, for 8 we have 3rd house, for 9th house the Arudha will fall in 5th, for the 11th Arudha will fall in the 9th, and for the 12th house the Arudha will fall in 11th. So it's quite easy. Now, of course, there are some exceptions. The first is that we have to into consideration the stronger of the lords. So we know that the Virgo, Pisces, Scorpio, Aquarius, these 4 signs, they have 2 lords. Virgo have Rahu and Mercury, Pisces will have Jupiter and Ketu, Aquarius will have Saturn, Rahu, and Scorpio has Mars and Ketu. So then we need to find which lord is stronger, and based on that we are counting 2 Arudas, and then we see which of these 2 is stronger. Another exception is that if we see that 7th house from the Arudha is stronger, then the Arudha can jump to the 7th house. The third thing is that the Arudha is quite a dynamic point. So also based on the dashas, the Arudha placement can also change. Okay guys, so now we will do a few examples. So I will take a few charts. Here we have the number 11. So this is the Aquarius sign. Aquarius has 2 lords, Saturn and Rahu. So there can be 2 Arudas. The first Arudha is based on Rahu. The second Arudha is based on Saturn, or reverse. Depends how we are counting. So here we see that Lagna Lord Aquarius is Rahu in the 2nd house. So the Arudha here, you see the abbreviation AL is in the 3rd house because it's just the mirror take. We are taking just the mirror. So Lagna Lord in 2nd, Arudha Lagna will fall in 3rd. Quite easy. When the Lagna Lord Saturn is here in the 11th house, then we see that the Arudha will fall in the 9th house. There is no abbreviation, but the Arudha, the 2nd Arudha will fall here in the 9th house. So signs, ascendant signs which have 2 lords will have 2 Arudas, and then we see that, oh, this Venus and Mars have a planet, so this probably will be stronger. So then we can say that the Arudha Lagna is here in the 3rd house. The Venus and Mercury would give someone who is interested in art, in entertainment, writing, communication, and so on. So this is the sector to which one will belong. Okay, now we are going to the 2nd chart. Here we see that Arudha Lagna is in Scorpio, again 2 lords, so it's Mars and Ketu. If we take Ketu, let's take Ketu as the first, Lagna Lord is in Ketu, so it's 6th house. If we take 6 from the 6th, the Arudha will fall here in the 11th. So when the Lagna Lord is in 6, Arudha is in 11. There is no abbreviation because it only counts the softer, the stronger one. Lagna Lord here is in the 8th house. So 8 from 8 is the 3rd house. You can see here AL, the abbreviation. So Arudha Lagna is in 3rd house. So when Lagna Lord is in 2nd or Lagna Lord is in 8th, then the Arudha Lagna is falling in the 3rd house. So now take the next example. Here we see that Lagna is in Aries. So there's only 1 Lord. It's quite easy. Lagna Lord is in the 2nd. So the Arudha Lagna will fall in 3rd because 2nd from 2nd is 3rd. So here we have the reflection principles. And Ketu on the Arudha can give someone who is spiritual, someone who is elite, someone who can also is doing something with a small, technical, precise objects. So this is Ketu, what is giving here on the Arudha. In the next example, we can see here that we have Libra Lagna. So again, Libra has only 1 lord, which is the Venus. Venus here is in the 9th house, so we have to count 9 from the 9th. Again, the reflection principle. 9 from the 9th is the 5th house, so the Arudha Lagna is in 5th. Very easy. In the next example, we see the Virgo. Now, Virgo has 2 lords. It can be either Mercury or Rahu. So let's count 2 of them. So we see Lagna Lords in 10th. So this is the exception because normally it will fall in 7, right? 10 from 10 is 7, but it cannot fall in 7 because it's Satyapita. So 10 from 7 is the 4th house. So when Lagna Lord is in 10th, the Arudha is in 4th, so it's working properly. Now the other lord, Lagna Lord, is Rahu. Rahu is in the 6th house, so 6 from 6th is 11. So here would be the 2nd Arudha. Okay, let's go to the next chart. Here we see the Jim Dine. Here we have Virgo Lagna, again 2 lords. From Mercury, again Lagna Lord in 10th house, Arudha is in 4th. We already did that. Another lord is Lagna Lord, Rahu is in 5th, right? So we have to count 5th from the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the 9th house. So the Arudha Lagna will fall in 9th house, the 2nd Arudha here, because here again only the strongest is shown. Now the next example, Gemini Lagna or Mithuna Lagna. So Gemini is loaded by Mercury. We have to find where is Mercury. Mercury is in 12. So when the Lagna Lord is in 12, the Arudha Lagna will fall in the 11 because it's 12 from the 12. So 12 from the 12 is 11. So we have see here abbreviation AL with the moon in Aries. So moon can give anything related from social, food, caring to others, being mother of a project, doing anything related to public, to society. That is all moon. So Arudha Lagna is with the moon. Now in the last example here we have Cancer Lagna, Karka Lagna. The moon is in the 6th house, so we have to count 6 from the 6th. Again, the reflection principle. 6 from the 6th is 11. 11th house has the abbreviation AL, so the Arudha Lagna is in Taurus. So it's working perfectly. Now, as I said, we can use the Arudha for the Gochara, for the transit. And here we see that when Saturn is in the 3rd, 6th, 11 or 12, this is very good. When Saturn is in the 1st, 5th or 9th, then there may be some need to transform. It's in the 1st, 4, 8 or 10. This transformation may be related to the work. And Jupiter is blessing one in the Kendra, but it's showing the harsh true in the Trikona. And Sun blesses in trine to Arudha, and it ruins one when it's in the Artakona, which is 2nd, 6th or 10th. So when the Sun is in these houses from the Arudha, it's not the best month. So based on that, we can see which month is good for us based on the position of Arudha Lagna. Moon blesses in the 5th, 9th, 7th and 2nd house from the Arudha Lagna. So as we know, the Moon moves very quickly. It's the quickest, fastest planet in the chart. So it is in the 5th, 9th, 7th and 2nd from the Arudha Lagna. Then it means that these days, because now moon will change every 2.5 a day, so these days will be very good for us. Okay, so this is the Arudha Lagna. Now the part 2 is a little bit about the Upapada, because the same principles applies, and the Upapada is a very vital point when it comes to marriage. So I assume you also want to know and find this point in your chart. So Upapada is the marriage point and is found in the same way. We are just taking 12th house as the reference, so technically it's the Arudha of the 12th house. The only challenge here of the Arudha is finding the right one, because the Upapada point will change in each relationship will have a new Upapada. So the first relationship we have in life is the Upapada, the next one is 8 from, the next one is again 8 from. So for astrologer, someone had a lot of relationship, it may be a little bit challenge to find on which Upapada person is right now. So this is difficult because not every relationship is registered by the karmic principle of astrology. So sometimes we have to check, was this relationship really here written in the horoscope or not? So this may be a little bit difficult, but nevertheless, this is the very nice principle, very nice tool to understand what is going in the marriage and if the marriage will have chances to survive, what are the challenges, and what are the timing for good and bad things. So someone can also ask, why the 12th house? So in the 12th house, of course, we have bad. People are saying that this is the cause, but there is much more to this. For example, in the natural 12th house Pisces, the Venus is exalted. Also, it's the sign in which there is the priest, which is bringing the couple together, two people together. This is a very important point from this perspective. And also in the Ritu chakra, Shad Ritu chakra, the 1st and 12th, they are belonging to one season, the summer. And then in this chart, the 1st house shows us and the 12th house shows our partners. So the most important things to see here is the strength of the 1st and 2nd house from Upapada. This will show if the marriage will survive, and then we can check the Venus and Jupiter to see, evaluate the quality of the relationship. There is love, Venus, it is auspicious, Jupiter. Second from Upapada indicates the various challenges to the relationship, and dominant graha on the Upapada may also show type of relationship. Like for example, Mercury among the Ashta Vivaha, the eight types of marriage, will show financial based, and we have one example for that. So now the calculation for Upapada, we have to apply the same rules as for Arudha Lagna, just treat the 12th house as the reference point. So all the numbers will be -1. So for example, if the 12th lord is in 12, it's like 1. So it's 10th from 12, which is 9. This is you will have here the box, so you can see the box here. And if the 12th house is in the 1st house, then based on the reflection, Upapada will be falling 2nd house, because from 12 to 1st we have 2, and from 1st the 2nd house will be the 2nd. If the 12th lord is in the 2nd house, then the Upapada will fall in 4th, because we have to count 3 houses. So 3 houses from the 2nd house falls in the 4th. Now if the Upapada is in the 3rd house, now there is like an exception, because it's the like Lagna lord in 4th. So we had exception in the Lagna lord in 4th. So similarly here, if the 12th lord is in the 3rd, then the Upapada will be in the 3rd house, because it's in the like Lagna lord in the 4th. Now if Upapada is in the 4th, this is 5th house, so 5th house from 4th is 8, so Upapada will fall in 8. If 12th lord is in the 5th, then it's 6 houses, so the 6th from 5th is the 10th house, Upapada will be in 10th. If the 12th lord is in the 6th, then it goes back to the 10th, because normally it would be in Lagna, it will go back to the 12th house, but 10th house from the 12th is the 9th house. Now when 12th lord is in the 7th, the Upapada will fall in 2nd house. If the 12th lord is in the 8th, the Upapada will fall in the 4th house, because it's 9th from the 9th. If the 12th lord is in the 9th, then it would go again to the 7th from 12th. So see 10th from the 7th house, which is 4th from 12th, which is the 3rd house. So this is a bit difficult when it comes to exceptions related to 12th house. But if you learn it from the Arudha, then you have to just translate it to 12th house as a reference point. If 12th lord is in 10th house, then we have 3 houses. So 3 from 10 in reverse, it's 8th house. And when 12th lord is in 11, it's 2 houses in reverse. So 2nd in reverse from 11, this is Upapada in 10th. So if 12th lord is in 12, it's Upapada in 9th, 12th lord in 1st, Upapada in 2nd, 12th lord in 2nd, Upapada in 4th, 12th lord in 3rd, Upapada in 3rd, 12th lord in 4th, Upapada in 8th, 12th lord in 5th, Upapada in 10th, 12th lord in 6th, Upapada in 9th, 12th lord in 7th, Upapada in 2nd, 12th lord in the 8th, Upapada in 4th, 12th lord in the 9th, Upapada in the 3rd, 12th lord in the 10th, Upapada in 8th, and 12th lord in 11th, Upapada fall in the 10th house. So that is the list. So now I have few examples here for this Upapada, just basic to understand how it's calculated and little bit interpretation. So here we see that ascendant in Scorpio or Vrishchika Rasi. The 12th house will be Libra, so we have to take the lord of 12. 12th lord is Venus, because Libra is lorded by Venus, in 11th house. So 12th lord in 11, so it's like 2 in reverse. We have to go back again to, so the Upapada will fall here. So this is the same principle of reflection which we use the Arudha, but we are starting from the 12th house. And here we have a Mercury and Sun in the Upapada, and this shows that the person will be like a boss, because 10th house was the boss, like agent, someone in work. So we know that the first serious relationship for Courtney, it was Doug Hitchens. He was her agent, right? This was very early marriage, 16 years of age. So many people have different view about this marriage. We can see 2nd house from Upapada, which shows sustainable marriage. There is a Venus and Mars. So this was like very much a sensual or very much chemistry-based relationship based on this Venus and Mars here. Another example, Tony Tenil, and here we see that the 2nd Upapada is in Cancer. And this is, we have to count the first Upapada is, here we have the Scorpio Rashi, Virgo is the 12th house here, so we have to count to Mercury, and that will be here in Scorpio. But now if we take from Rahu, it will go to Gemini here. Now in Gemini, the 8th from it is Capricorn. Now 7th house will be stronger because Moon is very strong here, right? So the 2nd Upapada here falls in the Cancer. And now we see that the Venus is in 12. This is not good for love relationship. There may be no love in the relationship. And what is very interesting, this Upapada is loaded by the Moon exalted, which shows very famous. So as you will read in Wikipedia, the Tony Tenil, she had a marriage with her band member, and this marriage was very formal. It was basically after some time only for the sake of continuing that fame, that public image. So we see it's related to 10th house, related to career life, is loaded by the Moon exalted, so it's all about the fame. But unfortunately, the Venus is in 12th house, which shows that this is there is no real love in the marriage. And she also admitted about that, and that was her 2nd relationship. So on this example, we see how we have to count the 2nd Upapada, and also very interesting principle, very important principle. If the 12th house is loaded by 2 lords, then the 2nd Upapada will be calculated from the weaker Upapada. So first Upapada is the stronger one, but the 2nd Upapada for such situation will be 8th house from the weaker Upapada. So this is kind of another exception when it comes to Upapada. So there is a small recap. We just did the Arudha calculation, gave some examples, then we did some Upapada calculation, 2 examples, how to calculate each points. So that's about it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments where is your Arudha and Upapada and how this is reflected in your life. Have a nice day. If this video have helped you in any way, please click the like button, subscribe for more, and catch you guys in the next one.